Yo, what's going on, guys? What's up? What is up? Let's have a look at Jasmine's chart here. So, guys, new kind of layout. What I'm going to do in the streams from now on, I'm going to hop on. I'll go through all the news first, and then we'll get into the chat after I do the news, okay? Just so that you guys know, be patient. I will get to your comments in the chat after I go through the news. Then we'll talk about it, okay? So Jasmine's chart, guys, 3 green days in a row so far. Can we close today's candle green? Stair-stepping our way up. We seem to have met some resistance right here at 1 cent 966. Can we get above it and up to the 2 cent 022 level? Be interesting to see, guys. If not, if Bitcoin does fall, this is my target, as you guys know, inside this little golden pocket here for Jasmine. We'll kind of see what happens here. We'll see how it plays out. We just gotta, guys. We just gotta be patient. I just DCA, I hodl, and I wait for some sort of confirmation one way or the other. Let's get into the bubbles a little bit here. KASPA down 3.1%. 13-cent KASPA, guys, is a pickup all day long. Same thing with SWIFT. 202,882. Phenomenal DCA opportunity, guys. What's Jasmine doing? 1 cent 937 right now. Volume is abysmal. Abysmal. 37.91 million. You're not going to get a pump out of that kind of volume. So until we get some volume in the market, guys, get comfortable, get used to it. Dollar cost average, and just, chillax, right? Market cap down under $1 billion, 956 million. You have to bear with me a little bit, guys. I'm pretty sick, so my sinuses are so congested and stuff. I'm stuffed right up, so you'll have to bear with me on that. The Bitcoin's holding 63,000 now. I want to show you guys something here, okay? I talked about this last night on the Patreon. We talked about it in a live group video call. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly. Tomorrow, we need to see Bitcoin close above this 30-day SMA, right? Which is at $63,696. We're just a hair below it right now, as you can see, right? We need to close above that to start showing some strength in Bitcoin. So until that happens, guys, if it doesn't happen, then we're probably going to be revisiting some of these targets here inside 57,000 to 58,000, somewhere inside here. And if we can't hold that, then likely down to this box between 54 and 52,000. So that's kind of where my targets are right now. But that's to the downside. To the upside, again, if we can close above $63,697. Let's call it an even $63,700. Then continuation to the upside. So we will see what happens. But on the weekly, this is a bullish candle we have right now. So yeah. All right. So the weekly is looking good for Bitcoin. Let's go over to the daily. See what's up on the daily. Yeah, see, we got to get above. We've rejected off the 200-day SMA on the daily time frame twice in the last 2 days. We need to break above it and close above it with conviction, right? So that's what we're watching here, guys. That's what we need to pay attention to. 2 rejections. Let's get a break up and a close. All right. Let's get into some of the news, shall we? Like I said, guys, we'll get into the chat after the news, so be patient. Gary Gensler has to go. After 21 years with the SEC, Enforcement Director Gruber Graywall has resigned. Why? The same day that Gary Gensler's head of enforcement announced his resignation, the SEC appealed the most famous crypto enforcement action against Ripple, challenging the recent civil penalties ruling, prolonging the case even further. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati, took notice of the parallel moves. As Graywall's resignation was announced a mere hour before the filing, can you say in protest? Is it a coincidence that the SEC's chief enforcement officer jumped ship as the political and legal blowback became too much for Gensler to handle? For the first time since 2019, all 5 commissioners of the SEC sat down to testify in front of the House of Financial Services Committee on September 24th. The SEC has overseen a regulatory war against multiple industries that clearly goes outside the agency's authority. And the hearing began with a scathing rebuke from Chairman Rep. Patrick McHenry, who said Gensler's legacy, quote, will be defined by turning the once proud institution of the SEC into a rogue agency. Gensler is undoubtedly aware of his political fall from grace. If he were ever held in high regard, indeed, Commissioner Hester Pierce dared to openly challenge his policies during the House hearing, and Gensler's hands began to visibly tremble throughout. Rep. Warren Davidson asked Pierce if the SEC's enforcement agenda reflects the priorities of the commissioners as a whole, or if it is an extension of the Chairman Gensler's agenda. And Hester Pierce was blunt by saying, the agenda is the chairman's agenda, and that there are, quote, other things we should be spending our time on. Ooh, right in front of him. Right in front of him. There is no clearer example of Gensler's muddled agenda than the prolonged litigation battle between the SEC and the U.S. crypto payments company Ripple. The SEC made over-the-top legal allegations as a proxy fight against the entire crypto industry and has dragged the case out for almost 4 years and counting. It will actually be more than 6 years by the time the case is over because of this appeal. In a naked attempt to bulldoze the company's business, the case centered on Ripple's sale of XRP tokens to a variety of buyers, including anonymous trades on public exchanges. In July of 2023, the U.S. District Court ruled that XRP token is not a security except for when Ripple sold it under investment contracts with institutional investors, none of whom lost any money in the transactions. The ruling was a massive win for an industry that has been gaslit by Gensler's SEC for his entire team. The appeal reeked of desperation, and Graywall's resignation hours before it was announced spoke volumes. The enemy that the SEC has chosen is only emboldened, and Gensler knows that the agency's inability to prove harm to investors has massive repercussions, not only for the crypto litigation, but for his agency's credibility. While the appeal plays out in court, Gensler's tenure will likely end before a resolution of the case is found. This little perspective for you guys. This case with Ripple started before Gensler took over at the SEC and will end after Gensler's departure from the SEC. That's how long they've drugged this case out for. That's insane. While Gensler's political goose is cooked, there is other self-dealing appointees and bureaucrats who should face the music. The recent appeal and resignation of Graywall has distinct parallels to President Trump's SEC chair, Jay Clayton's decision to sue Ripple on the day he left office. The conservative government watchdog group Empower Oversight called out apparent conflicts of interest by Clayton and his pro-crypto deputy, William Hinman, and launched a fruitful investigation through Freedom of Information requests and lawsuits. Hinman, the stereotypical revolving door Wall Street hack, may have benefited massively from his favored XRP top rival token, Ethereum. In a high-profile 2018 speech, it sent Ethereum's token to the moon on exchanges. The SEC Inspector General confirmed it was investigating how Hinman received millions in payments while in office from his previous employer. Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett that just happened to also be engaged in promoting Ethereum. The IG has not yet issued a report, and one can only wonder if Gensler is preventing it from going public. So much for protecting the public interest through disclosure and transparency. It would be naive not to see how these actions are all connected. The SEC has become so undermined by a rogue chairman like Gensler that the culture of rot has set in, waging war on disfavored companies and industries. Picking winners and losers and sowing chaos in the markets are all more important than the essential mission of protecting investors from fraud and deception. No matter who wins the presidential election in November, one thing is clear: Gary Gensler has to go, and the SEC needs to be led by people without conflicts of interest or ideological biases who put retail investors first. Absolutely, I could not agree more with the article, guys. Gensler, mama said it bees like that sometimes, son. You gots to go. All right, what else do we got? SEC admits, so this is piggybacking off of that, guys. One of Gary Gensler's own, commissioners at the SEC publicly on national television spoke out against him.
Joining me right now is SEC Commissioner Mark Ueda. Mark, it's great to have you this week. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's great to be here.
What is the SEC doing regarding crypto?
Well, I think our policies and our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster for the whole industry. We have been setting this policy through enforcement. We've done nothing to provide guidance on it. And as a result, this is being shaped by the courts. And different courts have ruled different ways. I think what this Wells notice is, and while I won't comment on the specifics of this litigation, the Wells, what has gone on is part of a broader frustration with the fact that we have not provided interpretive guidance as to what you can and cannot do. And if you are involved in some sort of securities offering, how you register, how you get regulated as a broker-dealer, how you get registered as an exchange.
And you say, moving forward, that the SEC needs to return to rationality by ending this war on crypto and ceasing empowering.
I think within the agency, our agenda is directed by the chairman, Gary Gensler. And so the staff all follows his lead. The joke we have is we have about 5,000 employees at the SEC. He controls 4,995. I control 5.
Wow.
Right.
So is that, what's his motivation? Is this all political, or does he actually understand the crypto landscape? Does he actually understand the impact that these regulations around climate change agenda is having?
Well, I won't speak for what Gary thinks as his personal motivations are. He certainly has a perspective. The way I look at it, I've been with the agency for 18 years, done a lot of things involving regulation of securities, and the approach we're taking seems to be the wrong one.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to see different?
Well, I would like to see us, for one, we need to lay out some clear guidance and interpretations on what exactly falls within and falls outside of the securities laws. You can't even start to have the discussion unless you know what's in and what's out. And then from there, to the extent they are within our realm, we need to think about, all right, how does the broker handle these securities?
I was hoping he'd say, we need to fire Gensler when she asked what needs to change. But this is one of his own commissioners, guys, speaking out publicly on national television against him. This is the equivalent of him sitting up and saying, help us, right? Oh, my God. What else is going on, guys? Look at this. If you're bearish, I don't know what to tell you, guys. Bitcoin whales are accumulating like never before. You don't need a PhD to understand what's happening here, guys. Look at the long-term holders go up. The price is going up. The short-term holders, guys, more and more people are buying. Whales are buying. What are you doing if you're bearish? And this just continues to solidify that. Bitcoin ETFs saw $254 million in inflows yesterday, the highest in 2 weeks. Tides, they're a rising, 3 feet high and rising. If you're a Johnny Cash fan, you know. Join the Bitcoin revolution. Bitcoin will do to banks what email did to the post office. Bitcoin's going to treat banks like babies treat diapers, baby. That is absolutely right. Is Bitcoin poised to break 64K? Analysts eyes next big rally after 4% surge. Let's talk about it. Bitcoin just made waves after a quick bounce from below 59,500, shooting up to around 63,400. Although this is it has pulled back to about 62,700. It's actually right now 63,172. This still marks a remarkable 4% increase in just 24 hours. Could this mean that Bitcoin is gearing up for an even bigger move ahead? Bitcoin recently dipped below 59,500 but quickly bounced back, showing strong movement. Analyst Michael Vandepop believes this trend could lead to further price increase in the coming days. He suggests that Bitcoin might consolidate for a few days before a significant upward move begins next week. Breaking through key resistance levels between 64K and 65K is critical. Crucial, whatever. It's critical and it's crucial. As it could signal a major shift in the market. If this happens, it may lead to new all-time highs and a surge in altcoins with the current price fluctuation and a potential for a bullish trend. Investors are closely watching Bitcoin's movements. If a breakout occurs, it could signal a broader market uptrend benefiting various altcoins. As of now, Bitcoin's currently trading at 63,000 and the 100-hour simple moving average. It may face resistance around 63,600 due to the bearish trend formation. And I showed you guys at the beginning of this stream that level, 63,600, is where the 30-day SMA is, and we have to break above there and close above there. I'll show you again if you want. Yeah, Rob, show us again. Okay, I'll show you again. See? Boom. Here we go. Oh, we're back on the daily. So we're looking at the weekly here, right? So back to the weekly. Like I said, $63,696 is where we need to break above and close above to have some conviction here. So, all right. What else do we have going on? Now, if you doubt that companies are going to adopt MicroStrategy's strategy of adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, right? Check this out. MicroStrategy first bought Bitcoin and added it to their balance sheets down here. Look at that. Look at their stock since then. Boom. They have continued to buy this whole time. Look at their stock. Holy crap, right? So this is why Bitcoin is going to become extremely rare, guys, okay? Because people are not going to be able to buy it. Companies are going to want to hold it on their balance sheets like crazy. Look at the success MicroStrategy has had, right? Other companies are already starting to follow suit globally, not just in the United States. So another reason why supply and demand is going to take hold here, guys. Now, Rect Capital says history suggests that any downside in the month of October tends to be temporary. Bitcoin is already almost break even on the month and after a brief downside a few days ago. And I said that to you guys throughout the first half of this month was that last cycle, right, 2020, our October started red, half the month was red, and then it went up 27.7% in the last, from the 16th till the end of the month. It ran up that much and then continued into November and December, right? So seems to be playing out very similar at this point. So just, you know, chill out a little bit, give it time, let things play out, guys, right? Let it play out. Right, what else do we got? All right, Squawk Box, talking about 25 basis points, one or two more times, I think two more times before the end of the year.
And with the data we saw yesterday and today?
Yeah, so, you know, the data were a little hot in the CPI. PPI was fine, but, you know, the key thing for the Fed is their preferred measure of inflation, core PCE. And when you actually look at the components from yesterday's print and just looking over today's PPI print that go into that core PCE, it actually looks pretty good. Didn't really raise our tracking estimate by very much over the past 24 hours based on these two prints. And so we think the Fed is really still on track to cut 25 bips at each of the next two meetings based on these.
Within the next 18 months, will we get a core PCE print of 2%?
Oh yeah, we think that, well, within the 2% range, certainly down to 2%. It may not quite get all the way to even and fall below it. But I think, you know, when the Fed analyzes how big of a deal the inflation miss is, it really, you know, it cares more than twice as much about 4% than it does about 3%. So being twice as far away is more than twice as bad.
Sounds like a Richter scale type thing. It's
a Richter scale.
Worse, yeah.
Maybe not quite as big as that, but something that's maybe quadratic to get really mathy on you a little bit.
Oh, I like that. Were you a math major?
I was an econ major, you know, straight econ
like
the whole way.
Opposite of a math major.
maybe.
I'm not sure what's going on.
I'll take the fifth on that one. But yeah, so I think it's appropriate the Fed starts to shift to focusing on the labor market. We still think the labor market looks quite good.
What's the long end saying? Nothing. This is just usual technical trading. The people are not worried that the Fed sort of jumped the gun or said mission accomplished too soon.
I think that, you know, the difference between a 50 basis point cut and a 25 basis point cut was pretty small. The Fed has shown that it is.
Why cut it all with an economy and a stock market that's doing what?
Well, of course, the Fed didn't know that the September employment print was going to be as strong as it was. It chose to purchase some insurance, so to speak. Okay. And, you know, you buy insurance on your house doesn't burn down. You don't say, oh man, I shouldn't have bought insurance. Things came out better than they had anticipated in that September print. But, you know, we did have the somewhat elevated initial claims number yesterday. So there are, you know, our view, to be clear, is that the economy and the labor market looks very strong. But there are some signs that perhaps, you know, not every single thing looks perfect. And it is worth focusing on this a little bit more, since inflation is, if not all the way back to target, at least so much closer to target than it was before.
Yeah, I think two 25 basis point cuts is what's coming, guys. Now, listen, this is the frustrating part right here that some people are having with crypto. This is the S&P 500. Look at this. Every day reaching new all-time highs, right? New all-time highs, new all-time highs. Now, crypto generally runs with the S&P 500 and against the DXY, right? But so we see, you know, we see the S&P 500 running up, but we're not seeing crypto do it. So some people are frustrated. But guys, it's coming. Like I said, it's like holding a beach ball underwater, right? I know that people get tired of hearing it, but you know, it comes, and this is the message I'm going to be sending. I'm going to be talking about over on the Patreon shortly. As soon as we're done this stream, I'm going to be doing a live group chat over on the Patreon. So make sure you guys jump over there for that. We're going to be talking about how this just kind of comes so fast, guys, right? People are complacent, they're you know, they're bored, and then like just boom, right? And this is frustrating, but it's coming. It is coming. Just got to be patient, guys, right? All right, and more bullish news with MountGoau. So I talked about this briefly yesterday. We know that MountGoau has applied for an extension for a deadline to release all of the 44,900 BTC remaining to be unpaid, remaining to be paid back to retail creditors. Now, the reason they're spreading this out over the course of 12 months is to lessen the hit on the crypto market, because if people sell, then there's all at once, well, then the market would take a big hit. But if they spread that out over 12 months and just a small portion of those people sell, it won't even be something that registers on the price action for the most part of Bitcoin. So that's why they're doing that, guys. It's going to help the entire market, right? So all right, and what else do we got? We got one more article to get through here. Bitcoin's price surge fueled by leverage sparks worries of market risks. What are we talking about? Bitcoin's lately observed value rose above 60K, is being driven by 1.5 billion in leverage. Analysts warn that while the price has surged, the heavy use of leverage could lead to the market instability. Previous rallies fueled by leverage have resulted in sharp price corrections, leaving traders vulnerable to big losses. If you're using leverage, guys, be careful. Bitcoin's price increase is largely fueled by leverage trading. Data shows that 1.5, so yeah, they just said the same thing twice there. In the past, Bitcoin saw similar conditions. The cost dropped from 64K to 59K, and the market was a big factor in the decline. Hence, economists are questioning whether a similar trend will develop this time. Furthermore, Bitcoin's price has jumped significantly in the past 24 hours and has increased, and this increase aligns with the rise in leverage. So the higher the price is going, the more leverage is being put in. I don't know if people are putting shorts in. I haven't checked. Probably a lot of people shorting right now, which is very, very dangerous, guys. You get too many shorts in one cluster, and usually the market makers will go after that liquidity and will get a short squeeze, which will cause the price of Bitcoin to go up, right? Another sign of growing risk is the increase in open interest, which shows how many contracts are active in the market. This number has grown alongside Bitcoin's price, meaning more traders are using leverage. As more traders take on these positions, the chance of forced selling off rises. Open interest has also jumped sharply in the last 24 hours. This increase points to traders entering more leveraged positions. So guys, be careful. I don't know if they're talking about a crash here, well, then those would have to be longs, right? And this is the thing I've never really understood. Well, I understand it, I suppose, but I just don't agree with it, maybe. If you're going to long, why don't you just buy spot? I don't why would you not just buy spot if you think it's going up and take profits, as opposed to leverage trading? Like, yeah, you're not going to make as much, but you're also not going to get liquidated either, right? So I don't know, just my 2 cents on that. I don't know. I don't try to get people to use leverage. I know there's a lot of channels out there that will say, use my Margex links and use leverage, even though you have no experience, and get wrecked as long as I make money. We don't do that here. We do have a channel sponsor, L Bank, but I very rarely talk about them because I'm not trying to get you guys to use leverage. So WF Capital in the house. Let's get into the chat. What's up, brother? Guys, make sure you smash the like and subscribe to the channel. William, good old William. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, brother. Crypto Holmes in the house. Holmes, I'm glad to see you're okay, man. Hopefully Beebs is okay. Let me know, brother. Let me know. Big Kev, what's up, man? My man never sleeps. Drop that alpha. Hey, everyone. I have DCA 2 days in a row. Nice, my man. Holmes, hope you're all good. Yep. Isaac, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I got a bit of a cold. A lot of little, aches and pains here and there and everywhere. Just getting old, Holmes, hey, Kevin, I'm good. And DCA'd into Quant GFI. Nice. GFI. H-bar Ondo. Yes. All good, man. Funky's in the house. Sui is my front runner today. Nice. Yeah, Sui's having itself a good time right now, guys. Sui is having a good time. It is up 9.7% right now. But look at Turbo. Turbo's up 17%. Turbo's having a good time too. Simon, what's up, buddy? Hey, Rob, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask if you can explain how the bull run works. Like, can you explain how alt season is triggered from Bitcoin going on a run? I have done that a million times, Simon. I don't know in exact detail what you're asking me. Basically, what's going to happen is Bitcoin's price and Ethereum, generally Ethereum, will start to go parabolic. And it will seem to come out of nowhere, right? And they'll run for probably a few weeks, primarily Bitcoin. But you'll see Bitcoin's dominance start to go down, but the price of it's going up, and you're going to scratch your head, right? And then what happens is that what's happening is the liquidity starting to pour out of Bitcoin and into Ethereum and the large cap, the blue chip projects, right? So that's going to be stuff like your top market cap projects, your AVAXs, your Cardanos, your XRPs, right? Your Solanas, the top 10, so to speak, top 50, right? You're going to start to see liquidity pour into them, and then they're going to start working their way down into the mid caps, right? And then the small caps, the tiny caps. But things are going to pop off in narratives, though. That's the thing, right? You're going to see liquidity. Think about it like an ocean, right? You're going to see the waves, the liquidity flow through AI, and then AI is going to go parabolic for a while. Then it's going to flow into Web3 gaming, and then through Web3 gaming, it's going to move over into RWA or DPIN or layer ones or whatever it is, right? It's just going to flow, and that's why you have to be paying attention. That's why over on the Patreon, we will be doing live group video calls all day long while this is happening, making sure we're taking profits and flowing through the projects, paying attention to what hasn't pumped yet, so we can take profits from like AI and roll them up into something else that hasn't pumped yet, right? And we're going to compound our gains. That's what we're going to be doing. That's why it's so important. You got to get over to the Patreon, because we're going to be compounding gains like crazy as soon as altcoin season hits. It's going to be nuts, right? We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make a lot of money. It's going to be great. Obviously, it's never financial advice, but David, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Funky says, crypto moves in 4-year cycles. Financially, walk away from everything possible in 2 to 6 years. That's right, brother. That is right. All right, so we are officially caught up in the chat. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do, like I said, I am about to, in about 10 minutes, I will be live over on the Patreon. So, guys, get over there. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. I will see you guys over there. Moving the conversation over there for a live video call on the Patreon. So get in there, guys, and also book your one-on-one coaching calls on the Patreon as well. You can get one-on-one access to me. We can do video calls. We chat, help you with all things crypto. So unprecedented access to me. So I will see you guys over on the Patreon in about 10 minutes. Peace.